How's it going, everybody? I'm the best that is, the best that was, the best that ever will be there, but none before me, there'll be none after me, therefore I am the one and only Jake Covey, and welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got an action-packed week this week with your SmackDown and Raw reviews, and then we have a review of Night of Champions 2008. We then have your trick of the week with a reading from the Book of Rules and your Battle Droid of the Week. Let's get into SmackDown now. SmackDown kicked off with a triple threat match to see who will advance to the semifinals of the World Heavyweight Championship Tournament. It was AJ Styles versus Edge and Rey Mysterio. What a great match these three had. This could have main evented any WrestleMania when they were in their prime. So it's awesome to see them have this match at SmackDown. Edge would hit Rey Mysterio with a spear. You would have Styles clashes, spears, 619s. Anything that could happen in this match did happen. Great match to go look back on. AJ Styles would hit the win after hitting Edge with a phenomenal form like he did at WrestleMania 38. By the way, this was the first time Edge has appeared on WWE TV since WrestleMania 39. So AJ Styles advances to the main event for a match against who will it be? Well, we'll find out right now as Bobby Lashley faced Austin Theory and Sheamus in a triple threat match to see who would advance to face AJ Styles in your main event. Another great match. Bobby Lashley taking a page from Austin Theory's book as Austin Theory would hit A-Town down. Bobby Lashley would then come in, throw Austin Theory out of the ring and pin Sheamus to win and go on to the main event. Bobby Lashley would get busted open and his blood trickled down. You would see the graphic come up, Bobby Lashley versus AJ Styles in your main event. Very cool to see that. It looks like WWE is going back to using blood use. I like this, but I don't like it too much. I will always pan a bit of AEW for this. I'll pan every other crazy promotion of you don't need that much blood use, but you do need a little blood use for a cool fight. You know, I don't think you should use it too much, but I think if it's used sparingly, it is the point on an exclamation mark, you know? We then get Cameron Grimes versus Baron Corbin, and this was Cameron Grimes' in-ring debut as Cameron Grimes beat Baron Corbin in a matter of seconds. He hit the cave-in, 1, 2, 3. Baron Corbin's losing streak continues on TV. He has since broken it on the house show circuit. So, very fun to see. I actually really did like this awesome way to debut a new talent. We then get your undisputed Universal WWE Champion, Roman Reigns, say that 5 times fast, and an announcement to tell Knoxville, acknowledge him. Of course they did. This was all built up to the... Roman said that every man in this ring has main evented WrestleMania both nights this year. And it's time Solo Sikoa stepped up. It was then announced that Roman and Solo will face Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at Night of Champions for the Undisputed Tag Team titles. Very nice, very nice. This could be a good match, but it makes me wonder where they're doing with the Undisputed title. Shouldn't that be defended at Night of Champions? So we get Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the Undisputed Tag Team titles at Night of Champions. It could be a good match. I don't see him taking the titles off of Owens and Zayn for that one. We then get Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Damage Control in a Women's Tag Team Championship match. This was a good match. Unfortunately, though, Liv Morgan would be injured during this match. She would suffer a concussion, I believe, and she would be taken off of TV on Monday. I'll get more of that in my Raw review. But Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez would pick up the win in this match. We would then get a view backstage in which Alba Fire and Isla Dawn watched the match. We then get Pretty Deadly mocking the Brawling Brutes backstage. I'm sure this will lead to a match next week. We then get Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, who should be a SmackDown Women's Champion, just want to point that out, celebrating her 400 days she's been champion. God, it feels like everyone has been champion for like a while now. Austin Theory took the title at Royal Rumble. No, I think it was Survivor Series. He took the title back. So yeah, ever since Survivor Series, except for tag team titles, we haven't seen a change in champion. Very cool. Asuka would then come out and interrupt the segment. She would try to shake Bianca Belair's hand, but once Bianca tried to shake Asuka's hand, Asuka would blow the mist into Bianca Belair's face. I guess Asuka is a devious heel again. We're starting to reach Big Show territory. I just want to point that out with the heels and face turns. After this, we then get AJ Styles versus Bobby Lashley in the semifinals of the World Heavyweight Championship. World Heavyweight Championship tournament. AJ Styles would pick up the win after hitting his Styles Clash on Bobby Lashley. Great job by AJ Styles. So it is AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins. Oh, this could be a match. Oh, this could be a banger. And a banger after banger. Had to do a Sheamus thing, I'm sorry. But that was SmackDown. SmackDown went off the air with AJ Styles standing tall. Very good job by AJ Styles. This really does make me excited for Night of Champions. I really hope that Styles doesn't win, because it'd be weird for a SmackDown brand superstar to pick up the win on that. I also think it would be weird for them to split up the OC after just really getting them back together, so I don't think they're going to have them win. But that was SmackDown. Let's go Raw. As Raw kicked off with the Judgment Day, interrupting Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens basically just challenged them to a fight, and it was made official for the main event. We then get Shinsuke Nakamura versus The Miz, and probably your piss match of the week. This one was terrible. I wish they really would get rid of this tiny ball shit. Shinsuke Nakamura would pick up the win in a highly fought match, but again, it was overrated by a tiny ball thing. We then get Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez were supposed to verse Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville, but due to Liv's injury, that would be changed. It is now Raquel versus Chelsea in a one-on-one match. I imagine we'll get Liv back very soon. We then get a Battle Royal to determine the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. You would have JD McDonough and Dolph Ziggler in this match. I believe Odyssey Jones will also make an appearance, so shout out to Odyssey Jones. JD McDonough would be eliminated, and Dolph Ziggler would then be eliminated, but you would have JD McDonough attack Dolph Ziggler on the outside. JD McDonough would then have a really cool video package to show how he is here on Raw and he is here to stay. I really liked this JD McDonough package. It reminded me, I'm trying to remember who it was who had the split personality gimmick of the Devil's Advocate gimmick. I believe it was Elijah Burke. I may be wrong, but I loved that gimmick, and I think that that's what they're kind of going with for JD McDonough. Mustafa Ali would end up winning this number one contender battle royal. So shout out to Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali is your number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship, and will face Gunther at Night of Champions. We then get Becky Lynch addressing Trish's backstabbing and calling her daughter stupid. Becky announced she will face Trish at Night of Champions. So, it's official. We have Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus for Night of Champions. I thought they would save this match for SummerSlam. Maybe they're going to do like a triple, like a three-match, maybe a three-match thing of have Becky Lynch pick up the win at Night of Champions. Then you would have Trish Stratus pick up the win at Money in the Bank, and then have SummerSlam. Maybe. We then get Natalya confronting SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley. I imagine they're going to switch the titles at some point. I imagine they are. Natalya then said that she shouldn't have attacked Dana Brooke last week after beating her. I guess this is going to be her SmackDown Women's Championship match at Night of Champions. We then get Dominic Mysterio versus Xavier Woods. good match. Dominic Mysterio was able to pick up the win. But it's what happened after this match that really more people are focused on. As Kathy Kelly would interview JD McDonough about his attack on Dolph Ziggler, JD said he wanted to send a message by taking out a former world champion, and he shouldn't mess with the ace. That's not what people are talking about, though. It's because after JD exits the screen, you see Finn Balor looking over JD McDonough. Is this a new member of the Judgment Day? That would be awesome. I would love to see JD McDonough in the Judgment Day. I think it would work out very, very well. We then get Indus Sher, Veer Mahan, and Sangha versus Enhancement Talent. Indus Sher would pick up the win very easily, and Jinder Mahal would announce that they are here to rule Monday Night Raw. We got a lot of tag teams forming, you know. We then get Zoe Starks trying to rudely pick on Nikki Cross. Candice and Zoe Starks Candice LeRae would stop this, and then it would be made official of Zoe Starks versus Candice LeRae for next week's Raw. We then get Cody Rhodes coming out to deliver a promo on the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. He would say, "I'm the one who broke the face of the biggest bully in WWE. Brock, I accept your challenge at Night of Champions. They say you are the next big thing, but you are no longer the next because you are only in my way." Alrighty, Cody. You already beat him once. I didn't think they need to do this twice. I really don't. We think of Raquel Rodriguez versus Chelsea Green in a good match. Actually really showed off Chelsea Green's in-ring ability. But Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler came back after Raquel Rodriguez would win the match and would beat the shit out of Raquel. I guess this is going to be announced for Night of Champions. We then get Paul Heyman having the backstage talking to Imperium. He shook hands with Gunther and then told to call Roman Reigns. So maybe they'll take care of the Sami Zayn problem. We then get a sit-down interview with Corey Graves and Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins said his current character is the best version of him because it's an organic way to connect with the fans. And Rollins then said he will comment on Roman Reigns' Undisputed Championship reign next week. Ooh, what's going on there? We then get Judgment Day versus the Undisputed Tag Team Champions. This would be a good match, but Imperium would come out and cause Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to lose the match. Judgment Day would pick up the win, and Imperium would keep beating down Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and stand tall to end the show. It was cool that it didn't really end in a brawl. It ended in more people actually standing tall at the end of the show. I know that's been a critique of a lot of people of Triple H's booking of you have too many shows just ending in big brawls. So I kind of like that it didn't end in that, and I wish we get more shows like this that end like this. But anyway, very good Raw and SmackDown this week. I enjoyed them. They were kind of more slow paced and allowed you to really enjoy the storylines more than just fighting. And that's what I like about wrestling. It's more of a story than it is a sport. It's definitely the storytelling. These guys are some of the best storytellers in the world. That's why I like it. Anyway, let's move on to Night of Champions 2008. This Night of Champions would take place in Dallas, Texas at the American Airlines Center, which hosted WrestleMania 38. With an attendance of 16,000 people, a buy rate of 273,000. It's a night of defenders, it's a night of challengers, it's a night of champions. This would kick off with a dark match between Jeff Hardy and MVP on the... That's a weird dark match, you know? It's weird to see Jeff Hardy and MVP not get screen time in 2008. I just want to point that out. I thought that was weird. We then get John Morrison and The Miz defending their titles against Finlay and Hornswoggle. It was an okay match. I'm not going to brag about it. John Morrison and The Miz pick up the win. Yay. We then get Matt Hardy versus Chavo Guerrero with the United States Championship on the line. Matt Hardy would pick up the win. You would have Bam Neely on the outside. Bam Neely was Chavo Guerrero's manager at the time. Matt Hardy would pick up the win with a twist of fate. Very good on Matt Hardy to retain his United States Championship. You would then get Mark Henry versus Kane versus The Big Show for the ECW Championship, a triple threat match. This was just Big E's big dream. Big men smacking together. This is the Big E match. Mark Henry would pick up the win after hitting a World's Strongest Slam on Kane and would actually end up picking up his first ever World Championship. But right after this, the ECW Championship would kind of be changed to a secondary title, as they would get rid of the gold and change it to the silver winged title that we are all accustomed to now, which was last held by Ezekiel Jackson, who was Big Rick in Lucha Underground. I told you it would all come back around. We then get Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes versus Hardcore Holly and Cody Rhodes for the World Tag Team Championship. This was the beginning of Evolution, actually. Or not Evolution, I'm sorry, of Legacy. Because you would have Cody Rhodes announce that he is the tag team partner of Ted DiBiase after beating up Hardcore Holly and turning on him to join Ted DiBiase. And then later on in the year, they would join Randy Orton and they would all have a feud. They would go on to feud with Triple H for a WWE Championship. Then by WrestleMania 26, they would all break up and would have a triple threat match at WrestleMania 26. So this night actually started a storyline that would go on for over 2 years. Very cool little thing. Very cool. We would then get Kofi Kingston versus Chris Jericho with Lance Cade. That's right, Lance Cade or Garson Cade or whatever you want to call him at ringside for Chris Jericho. This is for the Intercontinental Championship. Kofi Kingston would end up picking up the win in a very hard-fought 13-minute match. Very good match by Kofi Kingston, picking up the win here, and becomes your new Intercontinental Champion. We then get Mickie James versus Kaylee Burchill. With Paul Burchill at ringside. Alright. Mickie James would pick up the win in a hard-fought 7-minute match. This was kind of about the time where they were starting to give women more match time, which is something everyone was really enjoying. So you would have Mickie James pick up the win over Kaylee Burchill. We then get Edge versus Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, this was right at the time of the brand split. They were trying to decide which titles go where. Batista was a Raw superstar. Edge was a SmackDown superstar. So it all came down to which title would go where. Maybe both titles would end up on Raw. Maybe both titles would end up on SmackDown. What would happen? Well, Edge would pick up the win over Batista and would retain his title and would retain the World Heavyweight Championship. Of course, this would actually lead to CM Punk cashing in his Money in the Bank contract on Raw. So you would have CM Punk actually become World Heavyweight Champion because of this match. So if you're ever looking for the rise of CM Punk, here we go. This is one of the main reasons for it. We then get Triple H versus John Cena in your main event for a WWE Championship match. These guys always had chemistry, so it's no shock to me that these two really picked up the win, and it was really a great match for both of them. Triple H would pick up the win in a 21-minute, hard-fought match. Triple H would then go on to defend his title until WrestleMania 25, where he would fight Randy Orton in the main event, retaining after Randy Orton Randy Orton had an amazing feud, which would lead to a lackluster main event at WrestleMania 25. By the way, I also want to point out that this would be the last appearance of Hardcore Holly in WWE. He would be released from his contract following following this match, and we would never see Hardcore Holly again in WWE, I believe. For a 15-year tenure ended after that night. You know what? 15-year tenure? I'm going to raise a drink to you into this week's WWE Drink of the Week. The Alien Brain Hemorrhage. Ooh. 1 ounce peach schnapps, half an ounce of Irish cream, splash of blue curacao, and a drop of grenadine. So you pour the peach schnapps into a shot glass before layering the Irish cream on top. Drizzle with grenadine before adding a splash of blue curacao to create an amazing looking drink. And that is your drink of the week. Please drink responsibly. Do not drink and drive. Do not drink if you are under 21 in the United States, and do not overconsume on alcohol. And now we're reading from the Book of Rules. A message to the wardrobe department. When crafting Superstar's robes, please be sure to include at least 2 of the following elements for maximum effect. Feathers, Superstar's nickname, initials stitched in cursive, sparkles sequins, 2 colors minimum, wings, apparently not for the gobbledygooker, tassels, hoods, no sleeves. Best talent relations. And a reading from the Book of Rules. And now, everybody, it is time for the Battle Droid of the Week. Oh, who to give the Battle Droid of the Week to this week? I think I know. You know who I'm going to give it to? I'm going to give it to the guy who hacked Matt Hardy's Twitter account. My God, was this guy posting some egregious things. I'm not going to repeat them. You could go look them up. A lot of them have been screen capped. As someone who has had their accounts hacked on Facebook, I feel for Matt Hardy. So Matt Hardy, here's to you, brother. God bless you, and I hope you were able to deal with that and get your Twitter account back. And to the guy who hacked it, here's your award.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. I have been the Big Guy. This has been Wrestling Made Simple, episode 102. I hope you enjoyed this week, and we will be next week have our predictions for Night of Champions 2023 from the Kingdom of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much for listening, and enjoy this week of wrestling.